All right, this is part 3 of Pumpkin Run 2025. So, when we play the game, and we have the ghost reset the game, in most games, if you land on top of the bad guy, it deletes the bad guy, right? But right now, no matter where we are, it just gets me. So what I want to do is change that so that when the pumpkin lands on top of the bad guy disappears and the game continues. So we'll do that in events. And we have this. Hero is in collision with the bad guy. Change scene to untitled scene. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Hero is in collision with the bad guy. And I'm going to delete this part. Delete an object. And the object's going to be the bad guy. Okay, so we have two conflicting instructions, events. I'm going to add a new condition here. Is falling. Hero is falling. So now, when the hero is falling, and I'm going to move that up. When the hero is falling and in collision with the bad guy, it's going to delete the bad guy, right? So just in collision, deletes untitled scene. Falling and collides, deletes the bad guy. And let's check it out. Okay, it failed on us. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. So the way that the game runs is it just starts doing these events over and over and over again, lightning fast, right? And it goes in order. So right now we have, anytime he collides with a bad guy, this is going to happen first every single time. So to remedy that situation, all we have to do is move this up, preview it, and hopefully this works. There it goes. So again, it all goes over and over and over again downwards. So you make sure and put your first operation or event before the second one. And that's how you do that. Should we add some motion to our bad guy? I say yes. All right, let's open up our bad guy. Let's open our behaviors. Let's add a behavior. And let's call it rectangular movement. So basically, it's going to go clockwise, 100, 100, 100, 100, around and around and around. Or square and square and square. Let's check it out. Apply. Preview it. And we can see now our ghost character is moving. Fancy. All right, let's add one more thing. All right, hero is in collision with potion 2. We're going to change the animation of bad guy, set to idle 2, and delete the potion. Let's get even crazier and add one more in here. Scale. The bad guy to half the size. So now what we're saying is when the hero collides with potion 2, it's going to change the animation of bad guy to the idle 2 movement, so he's moving around a little bit. Delete the potion and shrink the bad guy down to 0.5. Let's check it out. All right, moment of truth. Yay, we did it. All right, so now let's go back to our scene, open up our hero, and I'm going to make an animation of the pumpkin facing right. So first thing I'm going to do is edit with Piskel, and I'm going to copy, Control C, add animation, create with Piskel, paste it, and then I'll just make this face right. And duplicate it, move it up, duplicate it, move it up, duplicate it, move it up, duplicate it, and move it up. Okay, so now I have my right-facing hero, and I'll call this hero right, and I'm going to loop it, and then I'm going to apply it. All right, let's go ahead and go to our events. Ooh, before we do that, let's clean this up a little bit. It's getting kind of messy. So I'm going to create event groups. And my first event group will be called Player. Second event group will be called Camera. And third event group will be called Collision. And then I'll just move them into appropriate areas. All right, now let's go ahead and add a movement to our players. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is having the animation change for my hero depending on which way he's turning, right? So when he goes right, he's facing right. When he goes left, he's facing left. When he's idle, he's idle. So let's go to our events, and I'm going to create a new condition. Hero is moving. So hero is moving. Now we're going to do something new. We're going to create a new event, add condition. Hero is on the floor. Hero is on floor. And if hero is on the floor, we're going to change the action, the animation of the hero. By name. And we're going to switch to hero right. All right, here is the new thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this in here so it's nested. So this is a subcondition of my hero moving. So the hero is moving and on the floor. Change it to hero right. So let's see what that does. All right, so I go right and it turns to the right, but it just stays to the right. We'll fix that shortly. Next thing we'll do, let's create a jumping animation. So I'm going back to my hero. I'm going to open this bad boy up. And I'm going to copy it. add animation. I'll call this hero jump. Create with Piskel. Paste it in there. And then let's maybe duplicate that and change the color. And duplicate. And maybe on this one we'll change that to red. And then let's duplicate and change this to red. Save it. All right, so now when I jump, I want it to do this weird little flashing thing. And I'm going to loop it. Now let's go ahead and apply it. Go back to events. And I'm going to add a new event. Hero. Is jumping. Hero's jumping. And I'm going to add an action. And I'm going to change the animation of my hero by name to hero jump. And I'm going to bring this in as a sub event. So now, when hero is moving and on the floor, it goes hero right. When hero is moving and jumping, it goes to hero jump. So let's preview it. And I'm good to go on the right, and then I hit jump, and it switches. Now notice that it continues to do that flashing jump, and that is because of our order of operations, right? This is the last thing we have going on. So let's change that so when the hero is not moving, the animation goes back to our OG. So I'm going to go new event, condition, hero, moving. All right, this is new. So focus. Hero is moving, invert condition. So now we're saying hero is not moving. By doing this invert condition, we're just changing it from is moving to is not moving. Hit OK. And I see that little red arrows. That's the inverted condition, meaning it's not. So now I have hero is moving, and on the floor, we switch to the hero right. Hero is moving and jumping, we switch it to hero jump. And then this does not go in the sub condition because it's a separate condition, right? We have moving and then not moving. So here is not moving. Change the animation. Hero. To idle 2. Hit OK. Let's check it out. Hero right. Jump. And now it's going back to my original animated idle. Right? All right, let's fix the facing issue. So let's go back to our events. We're going to create a new event. And the condition for this one is going to be called key pressed. Key pressed. So when the right, I'm typing in right, when the right key is pressed, right key is pressed, Okay. We're going to flip object horizontally. So I'm just going to type in flip object horizontally. And the object we're going to use is hero. And right now we want the hero set to no. And I'll show you why in a moment. So I hit OK. And now we want to do the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it, and change it from right to left. And flip horizontally. This one we do want it to happen. So we're going to activate flipping yes. Now let's preview it. And I go right, and it flips it. And when I go left, it flips it. All right, starting to look like a game. All right, should we create a sound for when the guy jumps? Let's do it. Oh, don't close it. All right, so right now we have hero is jumping. Let's create a new event. Hero is jumping. And then we want to add another condition in here. Trigger once while true. And the reason that we want to trigger this one time while true is because we don't want that play that sound over and over and over again, because it will get loud and annoying. So hero is jumping, trigger once while true, add an action. We're going to play a sound. And we'll just use that JFXR and just pick one, it doesn't matter. There we go, I don't want it too loud. Hit save, hit OK. And let's go ahead and test this out. All right. Now let's go ahead and create a climbing animation so that the animation switches when the hero is climbing. So let's go to our untitled scene, open up our hero, and let's open up Edit with Piskel. And I will copy it. And then add animation, and I'll call this hero climb. Climb. Create with Piskel. Paste it. And then I'll just wipe out. And I'll make a copy. And now I'll just make some like glutes. Save. Loop. Apply. All right. Now, let's go to our events. Add new events. Condition. Hero. And it's not actually climbing, it is on ladder. So when the hero is on the ladder, we're going to change the animation of the hero to hero climb. Okay. And I'm going to move this in here nested. So moving N on the ladder. Let's preview. And there we go. You can see him climbing up the ladder. All right. The guy's behind the vine, and we want to get him on in front of it. So to do that, it's pretty easy. Let's go back to our scene. And I'm going to find my hero. And I think it's this one. Yeah, open instances. Instances, right? And I click on my hero. And it says my Z number is 1. So in this game, we have X going across left and right, and Y going up and down, right? And then we have Z. This is not 3D, so Z is just basically like a layer. So I've got my hero on my first layer, and then let me find my vine, and I've got my vine on my basically my 10th layer. So there's 10 things on top of the hero. So the easiest way to do this is just change this to -1. So I moved the vine to -1. The hero is on 1. And then let's try it out. And now you can see he's up there. All right, now let's go ahead and mess with lerps. And what a lerp is basically 3 values. The first value is the start value, and that's an X. Second value is the end value, and that's the Y. And then the Z value is the time it takes to get between X and Y. So for us, what we're doing is setting that to the speed that the camera follows the character. And if that doesn't make any sense, it will as soon as I show you how to do it. Let's go to events. And what we're going to do first off is get rid of, in our camera group, dump this. Whoop. All right. We're going to create a new action. And what we're going to do is center the camera on the X position. So where would that be? Camera center X position. And what we put in here for our value is lerp, L-E-R-P. And then the first number is our camera's X position. So camera X, and then parenthesis, comma. So that's our X number. Now our Y number is going to be hero dot X. And then our last number is going to be 0.25. And then close it off. Right, so our X, our Y, and then how fast the camera is going to go. So what is that going to do? Let's check it out. So you see now when I move my guy, the camera moves a little bit slower. That is a lerp. And I will hide this for a minute. And preview it again. And now you see there's no camera movement really. So that's a lerp. I'm gonna put this back in action. And now what I'm gonna do is just copy this, paste it, and then change it from the X position to the Y, and then change all these out to Y. So all it's doing is the same camera movement for the X and the Y at 0.25 quarter speed. All right, time to move on to parallax. Parallax. So go back to our objects, create a new scene object, sprite. I'm going to call this cloud, create with Piskel. And I want this to be 512 because I want it to be kind of big. So I'm just going to make a little cloud. Just make a cloud. Yeah, it's fine. Well, that's a fine cloud. Apply. And I'm going to drag it in. Okay. There's my cloud. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this for a minute. So I'm just going to click off my instances. And I'm going to go back to my layers. And I'm going to add 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to call my first layer front. Second layer middle. Third layer back. And I'm going to move my base layer up. Okay. So with my base layer selected, I look at this cloud and it shows that my cloud is in my base layer, right? So I'm going to move this to my middle layer. And now you can see it's behind my platforms and my vine. Let's go ahead and copy this and paste it and then rotate it. And that's also in my middle position. Now let's make a moon. Sprite. Call it moon. Create with Piskel. And I will make a moon. Apply. Drop in my moon. I'm going to move my moon to my back layer. So it's behind the cloud. Now what we're going to do is give it that parallax look. And I'll show you what that parallax look. Basically, it's going to have the camera follow the different layers at different speeds. So let's go to our scene. And let's add a new event. Bring it into our camera. And we want it to be always, so the condition is always. And our action is going to be camera center X position. camera center X position. And what we want to do is have it going hero dot X parentheses multiply 0.8. So all we're saying here is that we want our camera to go 20% slower than the hero is going. Hit OK. Oh, and we want it on the back layer. Back layer. Hit OK. Let's preview it. And now you can see the moon is going at a different speed than the guy, right? So that's pretty good. Now let's do the exact same thing with the middle layer. So I'm just going to duplicate this and change from back to middle, and then I'll change the speed from 0.8 to 0.6. And you can change it to whatever you want. I'm just changing it so they're not exactly the same. Let's preview. And now you see the clouds are moving at a different speed than the, whoa. Clouds are moving at a different speed than the moon and the guy. And that is the parallax. All right, that's enough for today.